What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Let's dive right into our first news. Alexander Volkanovski has shared some interesting insight into what the Music UFC may be planning next in the featherweight division ahead of his rematch against Diego Lopez this weekend. Music at UFC 325. Volkanovski suggested that the promotion is already working behind the scenes on a matchup between Muvar Evo and Lone Murphy. Volkanovski explained that while his full focus remains on Diego Lopez, it is hard not to think about what comes next, especially at the top of such a stacked division. Evlov currently sits Music as the #1 ranked featherweight contender, while Leon Murphy is ranked #4. According to Volkanovski, that matchup makes a lot of sense if the UFC wants to clearly separate the next challenger, Music, from the rest of the pack. During the conversation, Volkanovski mentioned that he has heard whispers about the fight Music already being in motion, while he admitted that rumors circulate all the time in the sport. Music, he believes this one has some real weight to it. In his view, booking Evlo Murphy allows the UFC to build the division even more and create Music a clear, undeniable contender for the title. Volkanovski also pointed out how intriguing the matchup would be, especially with Evlov's undefeated run in the UFC. He noted that having two high-level fighters face Music off with one remaining unbeaten in the promotion adds extra stakes and excitement, although there was some uncertainty around Evlov's record. Volkanovski made it clear that the idea of an undefeated contender emerging would be huge for the division. Overall, Volkanovski believes this potential fight would perfectly set up the next title challenger, giving the featherweight division a clear direction moving forward. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to support the channel. Moving on to another news, Diego Lopez has responded to the critics who believe he does not deserve a rematch against Alexander Volkanovski for the featherweight title. Speaking in a recent interview, Lopez addressed the backlash and made it clear that no matter what decision the UFC makes, there will always be people unhappy with. Lopez explained that nobody in their right mind is going to turn down a title opportunity. According to him, criticism is inevitable in a sport as competitive as the UFC. He pointed out that if the title shot had been given to Movsar Evlov, there would be fans complaining that Evlov had not fought in a year. If the UFC had gone with Lone Murphy instead, another group of people would be criticizing that choice. Arguing that Murphy earned the shot after beating someone who was not even in the promotion. From Lopez's perspective, the situation is simple. The UFC made its decision and he accepted the fight. Now that he has the opportunity, people are directing their criticism toward him instead. He emphasized that fighters have no control over public opinion and that trying to please everyone is impossible. Liss made it clear that he understands how the game works and is focused on making the most of the opportunity in front of him. He believes criticism will always exist no matter who gets the title shot, and the only thing that truly matters is showing up, performing, and proving himself when it counts most. Moving on to another news, Sean Ali has clarified his comments about retirement and admitted that the possibility of walking away from the sport felt very real heading into UFC 324. Before the fight, Ali openly spoke about how another loss could have pushed his career toward an early ending, even suggesting there was a realistic year 26 might have been his final year in MMA. Looking back now, Ali said he cannot say with complete certainty that he would have retired if he had suffered a third loss in a row. But the fact that he was even thinking about it scared him. He explained that going into the fight, his mindset was filled with doubt and heavy reflection. The grind of the sport, especially the brutal weight cuts, started to weigh on him more than ever before. Ali shared that if he had lost, there was a chance he might have gone home and decided it was time. He talked about how good his life is outside the cage, and how easy it would have been to choose comfort and stability over continuing to fight. According to him, retirement will always come when he truly feels it is time. But that fight pushed him to the edge mentally. He also that the thought of questioning how badly he really wanted it was terrifying. Ali wondered if when things got tough, he would still be able to dig deep the way he once did in fights like the Petron battle. That inner doubt became a major motivator in The music end, Ali said he got his answer inside the cage by pushing through adversity and finding another gear. He proved to himself that the hunger is still there. He explained that the only way to truly know if he still wanted this life music was to be forced to dig deep, and that is exactly what he did. Moving on to another news, he and Garry had high praise for Islam Makhachev and made his feelings very clear in a video he shared on social media. In music, the caption, Garry described Islam as one of the greatest fighters walking the planet right now and labeled him the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He went on to highlight Islam's incredible resume, calling music him a two-weight world champion and a former world European champion. Garry emphasized just how dangerous Islam is, music, saying that what he does inside the cage is absolutely unbelievable. According to Garry, Islam is one of the most dangerous men competing in the sport today. Music and beating him changes everything. He explained that a win over Islam completely shifts how the entire world views you, music, as a fighter. Garry made it clear that he understands the magnitude of the challenge in front of him. He sees Islam as the ultimate test and believes that defeating him, music, would redefine his legacy and elevate him to a whole new level in the eyes of fans and fighters alike. Moving on to another news. Music, Justin Gates' manager has addressed the concern surrounding the visible mark on Justin's neck ahead of UFC 324. Music. Before the event, photos began circulating online showing what appeared to be a wound, music, leading many fans and fighters to speculate that it could be a serious staph music infection. Despite the growing concern across the MMA community, Justin remained calm and repeatedly stated that the issue was nothing more than an ingrown hair. His manager, Music Ali Abdulaziz, has now backed up that claim publicly. Speaking in an interview, Ali explained that it was in fact an ingrown hair and nothing music more serious. According to Ali, Justin took a short course of antibiotics, handled the music situation professionally, and had no lingering issues at all. He emphasized that Justin felt completely fine and never made any complaints going into the fight. Ali also made it clear that Justin is not the type of fighter to look for music excuses, win or lose. Justin prefers to take responsibility and move forward, music, which only reinforced his reputation as one of the toughest and most straightforward competitors in the music sport. Moving on to another news, Duplexis has shared his thoughts on the upcoming matchup between Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopez, and music. He believes Vog still has what it takes to come out on top. According to Duplexis, many people continue to count Volkanovski out, claiming music he is nearing the end of his career, but that narrative has followed Vogue for a while now. Each time he has found a way to prove people wrong. Duplex's music pointed to their last fight as a perfect example. Lopez came into that bout as a dangerous young savage, music full of confidence and momentum, while Volk was seen as the aging champion. Despite that, Volkanovski went in there and showed his composure, skill, music, and championship experience. Lopez had his moments and landed some clean shots, even clipping Volk a couple of times, but overall, Volkanovski controlled most of the music fight and showed why he has been at the top for so long. He also acknowledged that Lopez likely learned a lot from that first fight, music, and will come in more prepared this time. Still, Duplexis believes that experience, music, plays a massive role in high-level title fights. Volkanovski has been in countless championship rounds, handled music pressure situations, and adapted mid-fight against elite opponents. That kind of experience, in his opinion, music can take a serious toll on a younger fighter over the course of the night. While Lopez may have advantages on the grappling side, Duplexis emphasized that getting Volkanovski to the ground is far easier said than done. Volk's music balance, fight IQ, and defensive awareness make him extremely difficult to control. Duplexis finished by music saying that although Volk may not have many fights left at the top, he still believes music Volkanovski has enough left in the tank to defend his title once again. Moving on to another news, music, Joshua Van and Manel Cape recently got into a heated back and forth on social media over a potential UFC flyweight title matchup. Van, music, the new flyweight champion, has multiple options for his first title defense, but it seems he has a preference. He could wait for Alexandre Pantoja to return from injury for a music rematch, or he could face one of the top contenders, either Manel Cape, who dominated Brandon Royal in the main event of UFC Vegas 112 music, or Tatsuro Taira, the first fighter to finish Brandon Moreno at UFC 323. The social media exchange suggests music that Van and Cape might be on a collision course for the next title fight. The online feud music started Saturday and continued through Monday and Tuesday. Cape tweeted, "Don't forget this, you're only in this position because music. I broke my foot and you replaced me against Brandon Royval. Everyone saw what happened once I came back from injury, so music stopped this rematch. He knocked you out cold. There is no rematch. You're fighting me. Give me 4 weeks. That's all I need to put you back in diapers." Joshua Van fired back quickly, writing, "Titty boy, tell them why you said no the first time, you fat." Cappy responded with a detailed explanation saying, "Let me explain what this idiot is talking about. First, of music all, there was never a contract. Second, the UFC considered me fighting Joshua last Saturday, music too. Replace the Kayla versus Amanda fight. But they told me only 1 week before, and obviously there's no way I'd make weight in 1 music week, lol. And if I missed weight, I'd be more frozen then. Armin, let's do things the right way." Van continued music to push, replying, "Shut up. You didn't want to sign the contract." Cappy fired back, music, showing his frustration and confidence, saying, "What kind of contract are you talking about? I know you're an individual with significant intellectual limitations, so I'll give you a discount. If you want me to sign a contract, let's music sign it for March 7th. The exchange highlights the tension between the champion and one of the division's top contenders and suggests music that a clash between Joshua Van and Minal Kapi is closer than ever. Fans are now eagerly waiting to see if the two fighters, music, will finally settle their differences inside the octagon with the flyweight title on the line. Moving on to another news, music, some unexpected social media activity has caught the attention of the MMA community ahead of UFC 325. Mauricio Rufy is set to face Rafael Fizvi this weekend and has been preparing for the bout while training alongside Alexander Volkanovski. However, fans' music quickly noticed that Gene Silva recently unfollowed Rufy on Instagram, sparking speculation about music possible tension between the two. The situation raised eyebrows because Silva and Rufy have been longtime friends and are both associated with the Fighting Nerds team. Their close relationship made the music unfollow particularly noticeable, especially with no public explanation given. While nothing has been confirmed, many believe the move could be linked to music. Rufy training with Volkanovski. Silva has been vocal for the past year about wanting a fight with Volkanovski, and some fans think seeing music, his close friend working closely with Volk, may have rubbed him the wrong way. For now, it remains speculation, but the timing has certainly fueled conversation online. Moving on to another news, music, Dominic Cruz has opened up about his emotional induction into the UFC Hall of Fame at UFC 324 music and explained why the reactions from Bisping and Chris Weidman meant so much to music him. Cruz revealed that the moment completely caught him off guard, as the UFC never gives any warning. He admitted he was fully locked in on the fight's music and not thinking about personal recognition at all when it happened. According to Cruz, what music made the moment truly special was standing next to Bisping and Weidman and seeing their genuine happiness for him. Music, he said, their reactions hit him harder than the induction itself, which is why he immediately hugged them. Cruz explained that you could clearly see how sincere they were and that music meant everything to him. He went on to say that the respect coming from former champions carried music a different kind of weight. Cruz has deep respect for both men because of what they accomplished in the sport music, and because they were all competing and winning championships during the same era, sharing that moment with fighters who truly understand what it takes to music reach the top made the experience even more meaningful. Cruz also pointed out how competitive Bisping and Weidman are by nature, describing them as some of the most competitive human beings on the planet. Music, seeing that look of respect in their eyes, the look that said he had truly earned his place, is what fully made the moment music real for him. That acknowledgement, more than anything else, is what locked the Hall of Fame induction into his memory. Music forever. Moving on to another news, TJ Dillashaw has shared a bold take on a potential super fight, saying he music believes Khamzat would run straight through Alex Pereira if the two champions ever met. The music topic came up while discussing possible future matchups, including the idea of champions' music from different weight classes clashing on a massive stage. Dillashaw broke it down purely from a stylistic perspective. He music explained that while Alex Pereira is an elite striker and a dangerous champion, At music light heavyweight, the matchup heavily favors Khamzat. According to TJ, the grappling pressure, pace, and music relentless takedown threats from Khamzat would be too much for Alex to handle over the course of a fight. He emphasized that this is not about disrespecting Alex's accomplishments, music, or striking ability. Instead, Dillashaw believes styles make fights, and in this case, the style matchup is brutal. He music pointed out that stopping Khamzat's takedowns is far easier said than done, especially against someone who chains attempts together with constant pressure. TJ also dismissed the idea music that Alex could simply rely on a quick sprawl to keep the fight standing. In his view, music Khamzat would eventually get his hands on him, drag the fight to the ground, and take full control. Overall, Dillashaw music sounded extremely confident that Khamzat's wrestling and intensity would overwhelm Alex from music the opening moments. Moving on to another news, Kamaru Usman has officially called out Islam Makhachev for a music welterweight title fight, making it clear that he believes he deserves the next shot at the music belt over the rest of the contenders in the division. Speaking in a recent interview, Usman addressed the ongoing music title picture that includes names like Michael Morales, Ian Garry, and Shot Rachmaninoff. But he made it very clear that none of them compare to what he brings to the table, music against Islam. Usman explained that while there have been no direct conversations with the UFC about the matchup, his stance on Islam has never been a secret. Music. He praised Islam as a great champion, but at the same time emphasized that, stylistically, music, he believes he is the biggest test Islam could face at welterweight, according to Usman. Music. It feels strange that at this stage of his career he has to sell himself and remind people of his skill level, his accomplishments, and who he is in the sport. Music, however, he acknowledged that this is simply how the game works. Now, where recent performances matter more than past music dominance, he went on to say that he hopes the UFC recognizes what he has always delivered for the music company. Usman highlighted his willingness to step in on short notice, whether it music is 4 days, 6 days, or 2 weeks. In his view, he has always been the reliable fighter the music UFC can count on, and he believes that should factor into the decision-making process when it comes to the next title challenger. That being said, the reality of the division makes this situation complicated. Fighters like Morales, Rachmaninoff, and Ian Garry are arguably more deserving based on recent activity and momentum. On top of that, Usman's last fight before his win over Join Music, Buckley was back at UFC 294 in 2023, where he lost a close and competitive fight to music Khamzat. Since then, he has not been the most active fighter, and his victory over Buckley came music against someone who was ranked number 6 at the time, not a top 5 opponent. Meanwhile, JDM remains the number 1 ranked contender at welterweight at the moment. It appears the UFC is not interested in running back a rematch music between JDM and Islam. Because of that, one possible scenario is that the UFC books a number music 1 contender fight, first with the winner earning the right to challenge Islam. On the other hand, there's also the possibility that music, while a contender fight is being set up, the UFC could surprise everyone and book Usman versus Islam for a major music card. Either way, Usman has made his intentions clear, and now it is up to the UFC to decide how the welterweight title picture unfolds. That's it from MMA Pulse News. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for your daily dose of MMA.